to my home. And I remember the way it made me feel.
Alright, I'm going to bring back my classic indie rock series, which I haven't done in a little while now. And I want to talk, if you don't know, maybe the fifth or sixth video of these I've done, I like to sort of talk about one record by a band pretty well known from the classic indie rock 90s or early aughts, whatever. And then sort of talk about another band that might be related or somehow connected, or just one that I feel like featuring that is not well known. And in this case, we're going to talk about two bands, because I just said we'd talk about two bands. The first one we're listening to right now, and it's this record, but Tengo, one of the definitive indie rock bands, one of my absolute favorite bands, and the band called The Mice. Now you'll notice they're a split on this single, which I will talk about later, but this is a promotional single from 1987, tying both bands together. Tengo, maybe one of the most famous bands out of New Jersey, released this record in 2000. And then nothing turns itself inside out, which is actually from a Sun Ra quote, and it follows maybe their most well-loved and well-received album, I Can Hear the Heart Beating as One, on Matador Records, of course. This is Gregory Knudsen, I think I have that right. Maybe I have to put it in. The artist, photographer, who's, Mazzy may know this photographer, who at the time had a bunch of cool exhibits. I feel like I went to one. Well, photographer is here. Yes, Gregory Knudsen. Look at this gatefold. But this one shows the band in a more sedate style, more subtle style, sort of definitely quieting things down. There's certainly still aspects to the sort of like noise indie rock that they do, but it's mainly this sort of like down, kind of like late night feel. And it feels like this is a relationship record, sort of being delved into from Georgia Hubley and Ira Kaplan, who are married, drummer and guitarist, and of course James McNew, the other guy. But this came out in February of 2000, recorded in Nashville. This one was important for me at the time. I was a music director at the college radio station, and I got to sort of like champion this record there and sort of help the station grow it and all that. And it's my favorite album by them. I mean, you have some incredible songs. Let's Save Tony Orlando's House, which is so good. It's got a lot of more organ feel into it and sort of very bouncy. That's a line out of a Simpsons episode. Saturday is a really interesting. I love the use of the drum machine on that one.
The room was filled with talk for anyone listening. I found a spot by the door with no one around.
Our Way to Fall is the next track, and it's just a lovely song. And then you have things like The Crying of Lot G, a reference to Thomas Pynchon.
You say that all we do is fight, I think. Gee, I don't know that that's true. And then I wonder, am I right, or is that part of our problem?
You Can Have It All, the cover by George McCrae, which is like a funky early disco track. Which I love his version. This version's awesome too, with George doing the vocal.
If you want my heart, take it baby. You can have it all.
last track, all of side 4, Night Falls on Hoboken. We saw them perform that track when this album came out. The first time I saw them was right when this album came out, and it was awesome. I've seen this band maybe over 10 times now. It's just a career highlight, and they've gone on to continue to make amazing records. They're all. I mean, there's definitely some I don't love as much, but this one is got the #1 spot for me. This one was given some honors in the 2000s. One of the best records of the 2000s, I think. Top 100 of the 2000s. Yeah, stuff like that, you know. But Yo La Tengo, Georgia Hubley, Ira Kaplan, James McNew. If you don't know this record, I highly recommend the 3 issues in print. This is not an original pressing. I had the original CD, of course. There's a great instrumentals. Cherry Chapstick is sort of the noisiest part on this. And the other band on this split single, which inspired this episode, The Mice.
Can you walk on the water, baby? Can you fly through the air? If we don't try any harder, baby, we may never get there. Never get there.
Who are The Mice? They come much later. Oh, I'm sorry, much earlier. The Mice was an Ohio band out of Cleveland. Bill Fox and his brother, a different Fox. Tom Fox, Ken Hall. This is their first EP for almost ever. This has become rare. I think it was always rare, but it was not easy to get. But I'm surprised what this has gone for now. Thankfully, I got it a while ago, but from 1985, Bill Fox is the main sort of songwriter. On the Herb Jackson Records imprint, this song, Not Proud of the USA, up here, I guess WFMU was playing that one all the time, and they were playing it during the run of the first George Bush, I guess, later on. This definitely, they almost look like some of the replacements here. This almost looks like Paul Westerberg and Tommy Stinson almost. But it's a different kind of band. Well, not unlike, definitely power pop, not as sloppy as the replacements. But if you like the replacements, you'll like this band. They did this EP and then this LP on the St. Valentine label, Scooter. The EP, actually, no, I think, I told you I'd focus on one record. Let's focus on Scooter. Same band. This is also from Cleveland, the record, 1986. And Bill Fox, who becomes sort of known, but not really. Just a great vocalist, great songwriter. He's got that raspy thing going on. This is solid 80s power pop, indie. It has connections to the replacement sound. Kind of don't know much about them other than the fact that Bill Fox would go on to do a solo record, and they had these 2 EPs, the EP and the album. This single, there's an earlier single which I don't have, which is pretty rare, the very first release. This one they do Little Rage, which is on the it's on this album, first track on this album, but it's also on this single. This is a promotional single on What Goes On Records. So that's what my connection. The Mice. Bill Fox would go on to record a few records for Scat Records and Bar None, including this one, which is a masterpiece, Transit Byzantium. Only released on vinyl just a couple of years ago. It was on CD for like 20 years, since 1998. And this is on Scat Records out of Ohio. Of course, Guided by Voices Records. But apparently he made this album. It's all 4-track, very lo-fi. And he sort of just decided to vanish. Not even like vanish like he was like a Sid Barrett. I think he just went to work, and you could find him at local bars or sort of hanging around locally, Bill Fox. But this became this grew in stature over time, and I found it about 10 years later, around 2008, and I was obsessed with this record for years. You know, it's just that cassette lo-fi sort of like from the heart and direct sort of type of thing, and he did it so well. He only made this and one other album, which is pretty good too, Shelter from the Smoke. So it's got some band stuff on it, similarly lo-fi. He has another record of demos, I think, but that's really it. We haven't really heard from him very much. But his brother plays percussion on this too, by the way.
If you try to get it before, then it got you all torn apart. And if he only left you with a broken heart, I'll give it away.
But we're talking about the Mice, and the Mice is just a great thing to check out. There is a CD comp, which is out of print. You know, we'll see if this stuff gets repressed. I don't think anyone's looking for it. I don't know if there's a demand. Well, there's definitely demand, because these secondhand prices on these are pretty high. But this is just excellent power pop out of the Midwest, Ohio. If you like that kind of thing, I highly recommend you check this out. Great songwriter, great instrumentalist. Doug Gillard plays. That's right. Doug Gillard's on this, who would be in Guided by Voices later on. From 1987, The Scooter by the Mice. Classic indie rock. Viola Tango. And the Mice. That's what I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed the sounds. You know, I'll bring this one back soon. Take care.